Well, this got to be one of the most believable, if not one of the most convincing alien and UFO encounter. I don't think you understand. Hide in your bunkers tonight, don't let your dogs out, put your seatbelts on, cause it's gonna be a bumpy ride tonight. You don't have to like or subscribe, obviously, but shout out to Motech. Check this out, roll it.
It's been 30 years, and we are still plagued by what happened to these children. These children witnessed something that would forever change the course of their lives. Some are still haunted by the sight of what they saw, and no amount of therapy can make it all go away.
30 years.
On 16 September 1994, just outside of the small town of Ruwa, Zimbabwe, 62 children at a once prestigious school named Ariel said that they saw one or more silver aircraft descend from the sky and land on a field near their school. Despite the critics, the children still stand by what they said and saw. Ruwa itself is a small farming town 22 kilometers southeast of Harare, which is the main city. At the time of
Arcturus. What the hell? Does that ring a bell?
the event,
Arcturus.
It wasn't even a town. It was just a name for a place in the area, a junction in an agricultural area. Nothing remotely special about this location. The school itself where the sightings occurred was a private aerial school that was known to the elites. Most of the students came from Harare's rich white families, which gives more substance to this story. The sightings occurred at exactly 10 a.m. on September 16th, 1994.
Oh, they were there to sell ice cream maybe that early. Come on, guys. 10 a.m. It's time for these children to learn a thing or two, man.
The children were outside for a mid-morning break. At that time, all the adult faculty were having a meeting inside.
Yeah. They were plotting like how to, we gotta ask harder questions. How can we make these kids suffer in classes? Probably, right? And then them aliens shows up. Damn!
The meeting took about 15 minutes, which corresponded with the end of the kids' break. When the children returned to class, they told the teachers that they had seen aliens landing in a field near the school, describing the aliens and sharing their experiences to the teachers. The teachers thought nothing of it, thinking maybe it was just their imagination or a game the kids were playing. So they did nothing and sent them home.
Was that Greta Thunberg? Oh shit! No way! She looks like her, but what the hell? I mean, not her either.
Imagination or a game the kids were playing.
Is that Greta Thunberg?
So they did nothing and sent them home as normal. When the kids got home, they told their parents what they saw. And the next day, a lot of parents came to the school to talk to the teachers about what was going on.
Holy crap.
They didn't send their kids to a very expensive school to learn about aliens. The teachers were confused and interrogated the kids, but the children still stood by their confession that they saw aliens. In a matter of minutes, the news went viral, and everyone was talking about the children hitting was reported on ZBC radio, and it gained even more attention, so much that it got the attention of the BBC's correspondent in Zimbabwe school on 19 September to film interviews with pupils and staff. After investigating this incident, Leach stated, "I could handle war zones, but I could not handle this." This was coming from someone who had covered war-torn parts of Africa, like Nigeria, Angola, and Rwanda for the BBC. He was familiar.
There was a cut earlier, right? I don't know what happened there. That was a cut in the video. I guess they used YouTube editor to remove that part. Perhaps it was copyrighted in terms of audio, maybe background music. So if you noticed that was in the video itself, or maybe it was nothing important.
With gunfire, intense situations, and he even witnessed the deaths of several colleagues. Despite his veteran experience, Tim was unsure about how to proceed with this news. The next person that investigated the children's claims was Cynthia Hind. She visited the school on 20th September 1994. Cynthia Hind is an author and a field researcher who specializes in UFOs.
Oh, crap.
Now, unlike some who might do it for fame, Cynthia was genuinely interested in learning more about our extraterrestrial...
What an era that was. Obviously, I'm a 90s kid, born in the 96, but I mean, I was a kid then, right? But those of you that were like teens or young adults, what an era that was. 90s, you know, no phones, no internet, or I guess the internet was in the beginning stage, could be wrong on that one, but it wasn't as common. Obviously, computers weren't as common as they are today. No AI. You know, people were doing it for the love of it. Cynthia, shout out to her. And in the 97, we also had Phoenix Lights. 80s, we heard about J-Rod, you know, that alien twat that was brought to S4 Area 51. We also had Bob Lazar, yo, Bob Lazar. What an era that was. Born too late for the 90s, born too early to visit the stars, but born just in time for the end of times, I guess, right? For the end times.
So, her investigation was out of curiosity and for science, even if she didn't know at the time. She interviewed some of the children and asked them to draw pictures of what they had seen, which, frankly speaking, looked like something out of a horror movie scene. She also reported that all the children told her the same story, but she or Tim couldn't make sense of it. That's when a third party was invited to help.
Journalist.
In November, Harvard University professor of psychiatry and Pulitzer Prize-winning author John Mack visited the Ariel school to interview.
What staring at you is...
Mack was a professor of psychiatry at Harvard Medical School.
Oh,
His
dang.
work and study on Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, dang, I see. Okay, I see. There was a cut there too, right? I think that was copyrighted part, so he removed that. Yep.
And A Prince of Our Disorder, The Life of T.E. Lawrence, won him the Pulitzer Prize, which is the highest award you can get in the writing world. But in the early 1990s, Mack became interested in alien abductions and wrote his best-selling book, Abduction: Human Encounters with Aliens, in 1994. He believed that these stories about alien abduction or sightings told by hundreds of people should at least be investigated
100%.
instead of laughed at or worse.
Yeah, and apparently we've learned that it was the gray aliens that were doing these. And apparently, according to Dr. Stephen Greer, whether you believe him or not, I know like a lot of you believe him and a lot of you don't believe him, but just to put this out, right, Dr. Stephen Greer have said that a lot of the times it's basically the US military that is abducting people dressed up as aliens. Oh shit! Oh shit! Sometimes it's genuine, like real aliens doing real shit, but other times it's just the US military doing that. And we also heard about this Greada Treaty, which is, if true, it is about the Greys and United States government signing a treaty together during Eisenhower, or Eisenhower signed a treaty with the Greys. That's why it's called the Greada Treaty. And essentially, that makes it so the Greys, these alien twats, would give America the technology, and in return, the Greys just want underground bases. Okay, they want to do whatever they want to do. They want to do their alien crap down there. Okay, and they also want to abduct, not everybody, but some Homo sapiens for their testing. Oh shit! So that is the Greada Treaty. And aliens abduction is obviously a very hot topic, so crazy one to say the least.
Worse tagged as a sort of mental illness. Despite his newfound success, he was having trouble with Harvard because his focus was now more on aliens, most especially the stories told by people, which is something that a lot of universities frown on. So, when he got the call about the situation in Ruwa, he ran to the location to interview the children. While speaking to the psychiatrist, the children opened up even more about what they'd experienced during their alleged alien encounter.
That gotta be Greta Thunberg, not Greada. Is that her, or or maybe she has a face similar to her, so I'm thinking that.
Hind, Leach, and Mack interviewed 60 kids between the ages of 6 and 12,
60?
And they all said they had seen at least one UFO.
Dang.
One little girl who Mack interviewed, named Haley.
Okay, so that's not her. My bad. I don't know why, but she looks like her. At least that's the image that I have in my mind. But 60 kids saying they saw something, and it's not that they saw something. They claim they saw UFOs and aliens, bro. Oh, shit. That's what they are claiming. 60 kids saying the same thing. That's insane. Really quickly, though, I gotta take a second to shout out all of you guys out there that are watching the videos, liking the videos, subscribing, and tipping the super thanks. Shout out to Mickey, Michael, Heather, and the homie Treka. Thank you guys so much for all the love on the channel. But you seriously don't have to do anything, man. But those of you that choose to, appreciate it. Thank you all so much for all the love, man. If you do have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. First link in description. I would love to have you there. Been posting daily content on Instagram and Facebook as well. So if you do have an account, would love to have you there. All right, let's get back to the content here. Boo boo, roll it.
Said that what caught her attention, a little girl who Mack interviewed, named Haley, said that what caught her attention was a strange sound. According to the girl, the spacecraft sounded like someone blowing a flute. Some kids said they heard a buzzing sound, like bees or electricity. Several said they saw a shiny object fly through the sky and land near some trees. That was when the kids rushed over to find out what it was.
They were curious.
It was at this point the kids said they saw two small figures dressed in skin-tight black bodysuits come out of the ship. The figures were maybe 4 feet tall. Their faces were thin, pale, and almost plasticky, and they had two huge black eyes. The first figure...
Gotta be them gray alien mans. Gotta be those bastards, bro. Gotta be those gray bastards.
...stayed with the ship, and the second one ran through the grass. In one of John...
So they can run. It's over. It's over, man.
Mack's interviews, a student described the figure running as bouncy, as if a human would run on the moon. Several other children said it looked like he was running in slow motion. Finally, the figure stopped in front of them. Many of the kids ran at this point, but some, mostly older kids, stayed and watched as the aliens came closer. Maybe they were paralyzed with fear or were just curious, but for some reason, they just stood and watched the aliens. A girl called Lucille, who was 12 years old at the time, felt like she was stuck. She couldn't move. She felt time and space around her warp, and her ears were ringing louder and louder. Suddenly, she saw visions of some sort of apocalyptic event on Earth. She saw people screaming as their cities were on fire. Millions of trees burned down to ashes. Oceans boiling hot.
Yeah, so basically, if I'm not mistaken, it's the aliens that were... She was gonna say, like, the aliens were telepathically communicating with her and telling her, yo, y'all boys gotta stop. Nukes and all that. You gotta stop destroying each other. Otherwise, that's how the world is gonna look in the future. I mean, that's the message we're getting, right? They're the good guys, man. They don't want us to nuke each other. I hope that's correct. I hope that's true. But, hey, man, you never know, right?
Destruction all over. Imagine seeing a vision of the end of the world with so much suffering, destruction, and death as a kid.
Yeah.
Another child was standing next to Lucille. She was watching in silence. She tried to move, but couldn't. She knew she wasn't stuck, but at the same time, she couldn't move.
Frozen.
I know how that feels, and sometimes it can be a scary feeling. You know how
kind of like paralyzed, yeah, sleep paralysis. Ooh, I had that once actually a long time ago. It's like, oh, wake up, man, wake up, but you cannot wake up. It takes time. Nothing really bad happened. I know some people say that they had sleep paralysis and it's like they saw some being standing there or sitting on them, and it's one of the most horrific thing ever. Thankfully, thank God, I never had any of that. But I remember like sleep paralysis, as in like the body is just taking time to wake up. You know, you're awake, but you're still like sleeping. You know that state. And you want to move your body, but you can't move. I had that once a long ass time ago, though. But that was it.
You are awake, but can't move yet. No matter how hard you try to get up, your body won't. Some may even feel like they are choking. That is known as sleep paralysis.
Dang.
And it's a feeling of being conscious, but unable to move. Only that for this girl, she wasn't sleeping. It looked like everyone who saw the creature's big black eyes were all trapped in a trance. To the kids in the trance...
Have any of you ever had that sleep paralysis? If so, was it just like sleep paralysis, or you saw something and you had one of those paranormal event? I never, thankfully, though. But yeah, let me know if you had anything like that.
It seemed only like a minute or two, but in reality, 15 minutes had passed. Suddenly, the school bell rang, indicating break was over.
Break's over, kids!
In their interviews with Mack, the children, over and over again, talked about the creature's big black eyes that they just couldn't look away from.
Dang.
The creature, or creatures, communicated to the kids telepathically about our environment, which is the horrifying vision some kids saw.
Yep.
They
And
then went
times.
back to the craft and disappeared. In Mack's interviews, one fifth grader tells how he was warned about something that's going to happen and that pollution mustn't be. An 11-year-old girl told Mack, "I think they want people to know that we're actually making harm on this world, and we mustn't get too technologed." One child said that he was told that the world would end because they are not taking care of the planet. Now, why this is important to me is because most people who claim to be abducted share similar stories of how they are told to warn people or our leaders to take care of Earth, and how our actions, if not checked, could lead to the destruction of our planet.
I mean, if that is really true, though, and you're abducting some people and telling them about it, yeah, that's all right. But that's not gonna do anything, right? The people not even gonna believe people. First of all, there will be, there will always be a divide. Some would say, yeah, right, in your dreams, you got abducted by aliens. People wouldn't even believe. And even if people believe it, like, what are these people gonna do? How can they actually pass the message down to the government? They can't. They can't. Government gonna do what government gonna do. So the best thing is that y'all boys and gals, okay, come down openly and let's talk. Let's figure this shit out. Come down, man. Come down. Reveal yourselves. And say to not destroy your planet, or we're here to help. Yeah, come down in the public light. Openly. And say that. Why y'all, like, abducting some people and telling them about all this? That's not gonna solve the matter. Come out and let's solve it together.
After World War II, there was a surge in UFO reports, especially after the nuclear bomb on
Yes,
Hiroshima.
sir.
Many military personnel serving at the time talked about seeing UFOs almost every week, basically everywhere, even from the ocean. There were numerous unexplained sabotages done at several nuclear power plants all over the world. It was as if, as mankind was busy trying to destroy itself by showing who had more power, another faction was working round the clock and risking detection to make sure we were all alive. Now, if this was an adult sharing their experience, I might have objections here and there.
Yeah.
Like with this video we covered where a man talked about how he spent a week with aliens. But these are kids.
Yeah.
They don't have time to be intrigued by conspiracy theories.
I mean, yeah, bro. Like, that's the craziest part. And it's not just one kid, imagination. We're talking 60 kids saying almost the same thing. And they're saying that it happened in broad daylight, 10 a.m., in a school's break, during that 15-minute recess break, right? 60 kids saying that. I remember when I was a kid, I wouldn't be thinking of that crap. I didn't even know what that meant. And I'm sure, like, these kids didn't know what they were. After this encounter, they knew, but I mean, before they didn't. Okay, here and there, a kid or two might think about it, and that's cool. But 60 kids? Nah, man. This has to be one of the most convincing story of them all, right? Happened back then. No AI. AI did not exist. You know, people were simple back then, right? Yeah, nobody needed those TikTok brownie points. Nobody needed those YouTube likes. Nobody need that. By the way, you don't have to like or subscribe. If you want to, feel free to, but it doesn't really matter. I appreciate you being here, genuinely. But yeah, that's the point. Back then, nobody really cared about any of social media crap. None of that. And I'm sure, like, these kids didn't even know what notoriety meant or being famous meant at that time. Yeah, newspaper famous, yeah, whatever. Yeah, 60 kids, right? Holy crap.
I remember being a kid, and most of the time, if I was not watching cartoons, it was practicing WWE moves or running
Yeah.
around.
Oh man, I used to do that, bro. That shit was, no matter how many times they said, don't try this at home, I tried it at home. I tried it at playground. I tried it at swimming pool. I tried it everywhere with my homies, man. We did that shit. Cops and Robbers, WWE, playing SmackDown vs. Raw on the PS2, playing GTA San Andreas. Mama would cook the good food. I would invite my friends over. Oh man, what a time it was, man. Not a single worry in the world. Didn't know how taxes worked. Didn't know how the world worked. Didn't care about a dang thing. Didn't care about anything. And as a 5-year-old, just wanted to watch Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, that shit. And life was simple, man. Life was simple. But now pushing 30. Now pushing 30. It's over. Yeah, let me know how old are you guys, by the way, if you don't mind me asking. So yeah, just want to see like how because I do know that some of you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Some might be I guess some of you would be in 20s. So we got people from everywhere. And yeah, let me know where you guys at, like city, what city. I'm in Montreal, Canada, and yeah, pushing 30, paying taxes. Life cannot be about just that, man. You can't tell me that, you know, you spawn here, you go to school, you get older, you work, you make money, pay bills, pay taxes, and then die. Life there's gotta be more to this life, man. There's gotta be more than that.
I don't think anyone that age would sit down and say, let's come up with a lie so good it shocked the whole world.
Yep.
The adults questioned the kids, asking if what they saw wasn't just a weird plane, but the kids were sure what they saw wasn't a plane. For starters, these were rich kids, so I'm pretty sure they know exactly what a conventional...
Yeah, the rich kid, no brokies. No brokies like my dumb ass back then. You know? Mommy, is that a UFO? Nah, you dumbass. That's a plane. Yeah. Mom, get the damn camera. Love my mama, man. Shout out to the moms watching this, but yeah, rich kids, guys. Yeah, I'm sure they knew, man.
plane looks like from all their frequent travel. But one thing stood out. Hind said that the kids' different ethnic backgrounds made it possible for them to have different ideas about what they had seen, and not all of them thought they had seen aliens.
Ooh, okay.
Some of the kids thought the short, fuzzy things were something known as tikaloshas, which are monsters from Shona and Ndebele mythology. In a way, I see the resemblance. So I understand how one section of the kids said they saw aliens, and another said they saw a demon.
Yeah.
This is what most critics hinge on, by saying the stories don't corroborate. But what they fail to notice is that whether it is an alien or a demon, all 61 kids say, without a doubt in their minds, that they saw something that changed their lives forever.
This time, can you describe what he looked like? The shape of his head?
Can we put captions there? Would be better, right? Oh, my bad. Put the subtitles here. Decide, can you describe what he looked like, the shape of his head? Okay, let's listen.
Well, I couldn't see his nose, but his nose was quite small, and his mouth was quite small, and his eyes were shaped like an It's swimming around down there, so I went down to see what was happening, and I actually saw this cloud in the trees, and it was like in a Milky Way pattern on it, like silver and green and that sort of colors. And then there was this little boy crying, so I went up to him to see what was wrong with him, and he said he was quite afraid of it. And then that actually made me quite afraid of it, because when somebody's afraid, I get afraid. And then I saw this person, and his eyes were like in a slant, like so, and his mouth was just like a line, like this.
Slit.
And then
Yeah.
at the time, the teachers were in a staff meeting. So nobody actually went up to go and call the teachers, because I think they were too afraid and everything. So when the bell rang, because somebody eventually went up, one of the prefects went and said to one of our teachers, Mr. Vernon, please could we, can you ring the bell, because there's quite a bit of a performance down there with all the kids running around. And then somebody from BBC came to us, and he went for a walk down there with us with a Geiger count. And actually on that piece of metal over there, we could stand up on it, and you could actually see a few burn marks. So he asked us when we were walking down there with him, he said, please could you come down with us to go and have a look at the things. So when we walked about, there's about 6 holes, and if you have a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there were burn marks actually on the ground. And then the heels there on the rock, the day that it happened, there was something glittering, like quite strongly. And then when we came back to school the next day, it was just gone. And also, when we went down with them, the burn marks had just gone. That's like a few...
The military showed up, and they made sure that nobody would see the marks of, or the burn marks where the UFO landed, right? That's essentially the plot.
minutes later,
How long did you observe this whole happening?
I think it was about 5.5 minutes when we went down there, because it was actually quite scary.
Well, I was at the tech shop over there, and then I saw people crowding up at near the site. So I went there, and I looked, and I saw this ship, and it had this light like a pattern, yellow, purple, and green. To keep on going around, and then there was something running across, and something of the ship that moved. Then when I looked more down, when I looked like straight vision, the glass, to some like alien thing, with big eyes, like what the guy was saying.
Do you agree with the other two that the eyes were slanting, the mouth was rather thin, the nose small, and it was about how tall would you say?
Maybe about 3.5 feet.
But you agree with the other description?
Yeah.
So short little aliens, right? Short kings out there. Shout out to Marion for subscribing. Welcome on in. Dang. Nah, man. I believe these kids, bro. I believe these kids.
There have been other well-known reports of large groups of school children seeing strange
UFO sightings in the United Kingdom. I believe there was an Australia... kids in an Australian school saw that too, right? If I'm not mistaken. Maybe one day we'll cover that story too.
The Ariel school story just happens to be one of them. In 1966, around 200 students and workers at a school in Melbourne, Australia, said they saw a cigar-shaped UFO land near the school. In 1967, the same kind of witness report came from a school in Miami, Florida. Also, in Britain, children said they saw a UFO land near their school in 1977, and some of them said they saw aliens outside the craft. So, what happened in Ariel's school turned out not to be an isolated event. But
am I the only one that has not seen a UFO or an alien by my own eyes in real life? Come on, man. Damn, man, I wanna see them alien twats too, bro. I wanna see them alien baddies. Come on, man, come down. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk to each other, man.
But a regular occurrence. In such, just 25 miles away at Pier House School, about 100 students said they saw a flying object that looked like it was going to land, but never did. The school and bus radio systems also stopped working on the same day. This happened 2 days before the sightings happened at Ariel School.
Holy crap.
And in the next 2 days, the famous event happened.
Dang, so a school nearby, or a little bit, you know, let's put it that way, a school nearby also saw that 2 days prior. What are the odds, man? Yeah, I believe those kids, bro. I believe those kids, man. I believe those kids more than a government employee or a government person talking about UFOs and alien crap.
To skeptics, the Ariel phenomenon can be easily explained. For starters, Hind recorded a number of UFO sightings in the form of multiple weird light shows.
Why does it say May 1st, 1988? This happened in 1994.
Days before the incident at the school.
Is that just like a watermark? Timestamp, just like for whatever reason, or is that accurate?
Cool. But the light show that hundreds or thousands of people noticed was actually the re-entry of the Zenit 2 rocket from the Cosmos 2290 satellite launch. All right, fair enough. It is about remembering things that we never experienced in the first place. And the scary thing about false memory is that almost every one of you watching this video has experienced it. I have a niece whose birthday was changed to another day because we all thought that was the day she was born, And it wasn't. It wasn't until a decade later that we finally corrected ourselves.
Kind of like the Mandela effect, right? Yeah, false memories is a thing for sure. This is why you need more than... this is why you need like multiple eyewitnesses for those top cases. Yeah, no, absolutely, makes sense. But 60 kids?
We all experience false memories. It could be as simple as being sure you locked the door when in fact you didn't. Remembering a childhood memory when in reality, it never happened. It can be quite scary and makes you feel like you are in a matrix of some sort.
Yeah.
So, skeptics believe the kids could have experienced
Nah. Don't tell me that it's a mass hysteria. Mass hysteria, nah, man. If it was just like 2-3 kids, yeah, but 60 kids, nah, man, I'm not buying that.
mass hysteria, which leads to false memory, and then to the Mandela effect.
Yeah, Mandela effect.
While false memory tends to be personal, the Mandela effect can involve multiple people. The Mandela effect is a phenomenon where a large group of people remembers an event or detail one way, but it actually occurred differently. It's named after the instance where many people falsely remembered that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s,
But he did.
while he actually passed away in 2013.
Holy crap.
And these people were so certain they were right. Could that have been what happened to the children? But here's the thing. If this was an isolated event, we could say it's mass hysteria. But Ariel School wasn't the only school that had gone through that experience. And like I said earlier, their testimonies of what the aliens said to them with telepathy align with what most abductees say. It's been 30 years, and believe it or not, those kids still stand by what they said when they were little.
Okay, subtitles not working here, so we gotta rely on... So that's one of the kid now grown up? Two beings.
After interviewing all the children in several
I mean, yeah, now the caption's working, yeah. Bumbleclad, man.
of their teachers, Mack gave a talk to the parents and he told them he believed them. The children we talked with clearly were talking about a phenomenon that occurred in physical reality. The stories were consistent, and the way they talked about it left virtually no question in our minds that what happened was just about what they said happened. For a while, the story was global news, and then it mostly faded away, at least until Randall Nickerson picked up the story in 2007.
Ooh.
He ended up interviewing 43 of the students who witnessed the event that day. Some people were eager to talk, but others would only do it if they weren't being filmed. After gathering enough
that's
information, he made a documentary about the event titled Ariel Phenomenon, having a score of 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Holy, that's
So,
good.
I guess the documentary is good, but the story of the Ariel...
Okay, I gotta check that out maybe one day. Damn, man. And apparently we're getting a new documentary very, very soon. And yeah, I covered that in the last video. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'm gonna upload this video, so that's why I said last video. But by the time I'm making this, that was in the last video where we're hearing that there's a new documentary coming in November 21st and 2025. And apparently there are 30 plus US government top, you know, government employees talking about it. Some whistleblowers talking about UFOs, aliens, and all that, right? And it seems like that it's going to be a big one because you got high-ranking officials in that openly talking about UFOs that, yup, it's real. Yeah, it is real. It is real. So, there's that. But okay, so this is another one of those documentaries based off of this one.
School UFO incident isn't perfect. Many students agreed on some details, but there were a lot of differences and inconsistencies in the stories. Some students saw the beings, but not the craft, while others went into great detail about the object, but don't remember any beings or entities of any kind. Some kids who were playing in the yard at the same time didn't see anything. The kids who saw it couldn't say whether it was one or more UFOs. Remember how I said the ship was silver? Some kids were certain the ship was black with green stripes, and one said it was red. A lot of inconsistencies in the story.
Red.
Dr. Mack's participation in the case was also problematic. He didn't get to the school until months after the event. In that time, the students had talked to many people, been interviewed by the media, and drawn many pictures of what they saw, which, frankly speaking, is a lot of time for the story to change. When Dr. Mack finally got there, he interviewed the kids in small and large groups, and they would just agree with each other's stories. Heck, even kids who never saw anything could lie they did just to feel among. Plus, Dr. Mack was known for asking very leading questions. Before Dr. Mack brought up the idea that aliens were communicating telepathically, the kids never brought it up in previous interviews. The same went for the telepathic message the kids said they got about how the Earth was in danger because of pollution. The kids never brought that up until Dr. Mack joined the investigation. All these and more add more credibility to the skeptics. There is even one former student named Dylan who came forward in a Netflix documentary called Encounters.
What the hell? That's the kid from Stranger Things. Oh shit! There is no way. What the?
Former student named Dylan who came forward in a Netflix documentary called Encounters to say it was all a prank, that he perpetrated a hoax to get out of a language class.
That's the kid from Stranger Things.
But his one testimony doesn't make much sense. 60 testimonies versus just one? And despite this happening in a school, there were also reports from other parts of Zimbabwe and South Africa of UFO activity and lights in the sky on the same day, same area. And this kid claims to have made it all up, so he didn't have to learn a language. In such, Cynthia Hind had been paying close attention to numerous reports of UFO sightings in southern Africa. An increasing number of people in September 1994 said they had seen lights racing across the sky, and some said they had even met aliens. And when Hind heard about the incident at the school, she knew something big had happened. It seems much more likely that this kid saw something in 1994 and was so traumatized by it that he made up the story that he pulled off a hoax, and everyone else just happens to be lying. There are 60 students who say they saw something, but none of the other students, not even the two he said were helping him, have come forward to back his claim that he faked it.
Dylan say it was all a prank, that he perpetrated a hoax to get out of a language class, but none of the 60 kids backed him. So one kid saying it's a prank, but everybody else saying, nah, bro, like that ain't a prank. That ain't a prank. Who you think you are?
This makes me believe the 60 students who said they saw something.
Perhaps Dylan was given a lot of Kit Kat. Perhaps he was given a lot of donuts as a bribe. I don't know, man.
These kids, when interviewed, didn't know who Cynthia was or who Tim was. So being pro-UFO to win an autograph from Cynthia sounds unlikely. Some of them even have rocky relationships with their families who see them as outcasts for spewing nonsense about aliens. Remember, they are from wealthy families, and that has their own sets of rules on how to act, eat, talk.
Makes sense. Especially like 90s, right? Yeah, that's a different timeline too, different era. And rich people were a lot different then versus now. Yeah. That's a cool detail for sure.
And all that. And I am certain that talking about aliens is not acceptable. I believe they saw something that day.
There was no reason for any of us to make that up.
I've not spoken to anybody about it. Not because I'm not proud of it, but because I don't want the stigma.
Yeah. So we now got them grown up and they're saying the same thing, that they saw something.
So it's something that I've had to deal with for 19 and a half years.
I don't want to say I felt like I knew it, but I knew that I didn't
Yeah, I said I
have to be
wanted to
afraid of it.
apologize. I should have taken more notice. But I didn't. I was more concerned about me and not them. And what was going on in my own sort of experience. And that's what, yeah.
Mm.
And if you could summarize in just one sentence what took place September 1994 here at Ariel School, Rua, Zimbabwe, what would you say?
Aliens visited us. And that's about it, yeah. And that's where if you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, well...
You don't, yeah. Did you see this video though? Yeah, this is about that Greada Treaty. Yeah, it's gonna be a funny video. Or, I mean, the topic is quite serious. Check it out and I'll see you right there.